it was one of the kind of neighborhoods. It was terrible. So had I skipped from kindergarten to second grade, the bullying would have been endless.
Mm.
Would have been endless. So I had the opportunity to skip grades multiple times throughout my school career, but
You didn't do it.
my mother was smarter than that.
I can tell, not that you may not care about this. I was a very tall, and am very tall, but I was a tall kid, and I did skip the first grade, which is, I always told people, me and Coolio. So now I have to change my story, like literally for years. And then me and Coolio skip the first grade.
You don't gotta change it because though I did not skip the first grade,
Mm-hmm.
my teacher was, my teacher, her name was Mrs. Holland, and she was hella smart. So she gave me second grade work and third grade work when I was basically, in kindergarten. So I was already
A little kid. And isn't it amazing? You were doing the work.
Well, you know what? No, I started with.
I was gonna.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. These Zoom interviews are basically death. I just want you to know because of the delay and everything else. No, I was going to say that it's amazing teachers who have a student where they see that potential, they know that the student is just advanced, and they take it upon themselves, to really lead you into like harder, more difficult work to make you just a better overall person. I think that's amazing.
Absolutely, and I was blessed to be able to have a few teachers like that in my life, and like Mr. Nairn, Miss Maiden, Mrs. Hensley, Mrs. Darling, who was my sixth grade teacher, and I was in love with her. And I sat in the very first row of class for the first time in my life. And I spent most of my time in class staring at her ass as she walked back and forth to do stuff on the board.
What a beautiful homage to your sixth grade teacher, Coolio. You just it's hilarious. Listen, I was going through your career, which, I fell in love with you when I myself was like in high school, basically, and your music, which really kind of defined a very specific part of the 90s, where I always make the argument that the 90s had the best music, the best movies, the best TV. There was something going on then that I feel like has changed now, where people were allowed to be creative and allowed to put their mark on things in a way that maybe can't happen now. Would you agree with that or no?
Absolutely, I think that during that time, that time of our history in America, we were pushed to be individuals, and it was all about being an individual and being original. Whereas now we have a herd mentality, and it's not. We don't teach kids. Well, most times they don't teach kids to be individuals. They want everybody to be the same. It's the herd mentality now, and it's a shame. And it's been like that for quite some time. Don't know what it was, and I don't know what happened or what changed in the way the world governments perceived people or perceived society, but they just all of a sudden, like right at the end of the 90s, they made this switch and started discouraging people to be individuals.
I agree totally. I always say I'm really happy that I grew up in the 80s and 90s, because creatively I feel like, young people now aren't kind of handed the same opportunities almost.
I totally agree. It's weird almost. Like I wish it was something specific that I could point out that made you that could help people understand how and when it happened, but I just it's not one thing or another. It just was a lot of subtle things that happened to make it change that way.
Yeah. Well, another thing that was obviously different back then was MTV, was a music station and didn't just show ridiculousness all day long. And I know when Fantastic Voyage came out for you, which was in '94, which is insane to me, like, where has time gone, Coolio? MTV, basically made that song a massive hit, and from then on, your music would come out and just immediately be anthems, like not even just singles. I feel like you put out anthems. What was that experience like then for you, kind of going from just musician to all of a sudden, like, you're the guy, you're like defining almost a mini era,
It was surreal. But at the same time, with that being said, I was prepared for it because by the time that happened, I had already been rapping for about 15 years, and I didn't have to go through the part of being this little young boy, not being prepared for anything because I got the opportunity to put out my first record, which was terrible, by the way. I put out my first record when I was about 18, and so me not knowing much about the music business at that time, I put out this record, and immediately I was rich, or so I thought. So I thought if they played your record on the radio, you became, as smart as I thought I was. I did not know that. So I heard my little janky single on the radio, and immediately, I started buying all these houses and cars and all this jewelry and Gucci and Louis and Chanel. I just went crazy and got big headed and the whole thing. And then when reality sunk in, and I realized that it was imaginary, all these things. It took me back down. It planted me back down on the earth so solidly that I was like one of the 8 wonders of the world. It was a reality check from another universe.
I feel like your story is so common though. Honestly, if I ever fell into millions, first thing I would do is go to Louis. Like, I get it. I'm like, you want to reach the benefit of your work and your success, and also, I imagine in the music industry too, there's just like an expectation of looking a certain way, having a certain car, all of these things that are kind of unfair. Like, could you show up to a gig in like a Ford Taurus? Probably not.
People do.
Well, okay, those are my kind of people because I do love a Ford back in the day. There were some reliable cars, Coolio.
Well, me personally,
but you got this. Go on.
Yeah, me personally, it was such a good way for a life to hand it to me because I was fortunate enough to be around some serious people. Like hold on one second.
Yeah, I know what's going on over there.
I had to drink.
Cool.
I had to take a drink. I mix lemonade with grape Kool-Aid.
Tell me, it's a good early morning drink. It'll really get your day started, right?
Yeah, break you up. So anyway,
go on.
I was around some real down to earth people, and they kept it real with me. They, nobody, wasn't no bunch of yes men around me or yes women, and people told it like it was. And that kept me grounded. That kept me grounded in a way where, during that time when I was at the top of my game, I would show up in the Ford Taurus and jump out with some chucks on and a khaki suit and feel straight, exactly comfortable. If people don't know what a khaki suit is, that's those dicky work uniforms that West Coast gangbangers used to wear back in the day. And I was totally comfortable being normal, and I didn't spend a lot of money on jewelry and cars and stuff like that. That wasn't my thing. I was trying to do other things. I was trying to build something. I was trying to build a legacy and build a career. Now, with that, now don't get me wrong. I made a bunch of stupid mistakes just like everybody else did. I pretty much gave away a lot of money and bought some things that I never should have bought, and spent a big chunk of money on this house that I don't even have anymore. So I did some dumb stuff too. So, but I was done in a different way.
I got you. Yeah. I wish I had known you back when you were giving all that money away. That's a great regret of mine now.
Well, I never gave away enough to change anybody's life.
Right.
but I gave it away. I gave it away in small increments to a lot of people. Like, if you had a good side story, I go for it. pay somebody's rent or pay a family member's bill, a rent, and or a friend give a friend $1,000 so they can go buy a sack and come up. Dumb
See,
shit.
but that's a good part. Like I feel like it's kind of almost an expectation when people become successful, where they will then help out, especially family who's going through something. We see it happen all the time. So I actually don't think that that's I feel like not that that's normal, but that you did what most people would do, even though now looking back, probably I'm sure you have some regrets with certain people,
I have that I don't even know what you call it, but I have that disease that
Empathetic.
yeah, exactly.
It is a disease.
Yeah. I just, I don't like to see anybody suffer, especially people around me. And basically, there were, some people in my life that, were good to me, and I actually, took, they were monkeys on my back for years. And I looked out for a lot of people. It was, I don't have any true regrets about it. I think my only real regret and true actual regret in life is the fact that I did not achieve any real success until after my mother passed away.
Oh,
So
I understand.
Yeah, she never
When did she pass?
I was about, to tell you the truth, I tried to block it out
Yeah.
for so long that I was in between the ages of 22 and 24, somewhere around here. I don't even attempt to go back and try to figure it out because, I don't want to. So, I'm one of those cats, and I learned this early, fortunately for me. When I go to funerals, I don't view the body. When they open the casket up, I'm out the back door because I don't want to remember people that way. I don't want to have that vision in my head where I see somebody laying in a casket and that's the last time I ever see them. So when they do that part, I run out the back door and let everybody view the body, and I still remember the person the way they looked the last time that I saw them.
I actually am the same exact way, and the open casket thing for me is just very creepy, and it's some people, I get it in religion, this and that, but I'm the same way. And I will just say, I'm sure that your mother knows what a success you are, and I know you know that.
I would like to think
you're
so.
iconic, Coolio. Not even a success, you're an icon.
I appreciate that, and
yeah, it's true.
It took me a long time to really get on board with that because, like I said, I try to keep myself in a normal frame of mind. Not so much being basic or anything like that, but just living a certain way. Not living above my means. Not doing a whole bunch of crazy stuff where it puts me in a place where something was to happen and I couldn't live my lifestyle anymore, that it would destroy me like it does a lot of people. People don't know this, but the music business and being an entertainer or being famous in any kind of way, and you start living, you get used to spending $1,000 a day if you want to, or you get used to just doing all these wild and crazy things, and then since God forbid something should happen and you can't maintain that lifestyle, it actually destroys people's minds in a way that you never believe in, which leads them to suicide, hardcore drug use, they become sex addicts, and all kind of a multitude of things. People get addicted to all kinds of shit that you never would believe. That's why a lot of celebrities gain weight. They gain a lot of weight because they start eating so good and being able to afford so much chicken that they just lose their damn mind.
By the way, you just painted a new horrible reality in my future, like that I get so successful I can't stop eating chicken. Oh my god, that's the last thing I need, and I'm addicted to chicken.
Man, but this happens on a daily basis, and
yeah, no, you're right.
People just don't. A lot of people don't even view it that way, and you know, when you get a lot of money and you get the opportunity to be this person that you never thought you could be, you know, it would seem that people would be smart enough to know, man, that's when you eat great. You know, you eat right and you do things to you know give yourself um, a chance to have a really long life, a chance to live to be 100. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't do it that way. They give themselves a chance to live to be 50.
Well, no, they're probably chasing that same high because, fame is a drug, as they say, and it's once it's kind of, I guess, when you're there, it's amazing, and then when you're out of it, it's like, how do I get that same feeling of, kind of levitating over everyone else? And you're absolutely right. It makes people turn to horrible things. It's really, by the way, you're fascinating. I'm loving everything you're saying. Just really interesting hearing from you about all these things. And I have to ask you this, Coolio. Now, let's perk it up a little bit.
Okay.
Michelle Pfeiffer recently was asked by Entertainment Tonight about Gangsta's Paradise. She loves the song. But they asked her actually if she still keeps in touch with you, and she says, no, we don't. And that hurts me because I want you and Michelle Pfeiffer to have a relationship as friends. But I'm just saying, what happened? Why don't you keep in touch with
you know what's crazy? I saw, somebody sent me a clip of the interview she did on Jimmy Kimmel. And he asked her something along those lines. And I watched it and I immediately tried to contact her. So
Okay.
I haven't been able to contact her. And, she had, I had my agent reach out, listen, find Michelle Pfeiffer and tell her I just want to have a conversation with her. And, I want to speak with her, see how she's doing. And, when she showed up to the video, she had just had twins. She just had twins. I don't know what gender they are, but she showed up and she had two babies in a double baby stroller. And she went into her trailer and didn't come out until she was transformed into Michelle Pfeiffer from Scarface. And she was transformed into Michelle Pfeiffer from Dangerous Minds.
Right.
And she was, I think she was a little nervous, I think, because I had a bunch of LA gangsters around, a lot of crazy looking people, everybody drinking 40s and fifths of Hennessy and smoking a gang of weed smoke was in the air, and she didn't want her babies around that. I don't blame her. So she stayed in her trailer, and when she came out and she did her job, and she was out of there. I mean, it was like she was Sabrina from Bewitched, because she went back in her trailer, and I swear to God, I didn't see her leave. I just all of a sudden I said, "Where's Michelle?" They said, "Oh, she's been gone. She left 45 minutes ago." I said, "She left 45 minutes ago." I said, "Shit, we just finished 10 minutes ago. So how did she leave 45 minutes ago?" So she tripped me out. I was like, damn.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Nothing makes me laugh more than, she been gone. That is one of the funniest things. That's one of my favorite lines.
She was out of there.
I also, well, first of all, I'm going to put it out there that Michelle Pfeiffer, if anyone has a connection to Michelle, I want to get the two of you in touch. Just it would be nice. It's been, God, the movie's been 25, 30 years old already. Not to age all of us, but it's 25. It was 25 last year. So I think it would be a lovely thing to reunite you guys. And by the way, she seems cool. Like, I feel like she would be down for it too. So,
hey, listen, I swear to God, Michelle, if I got in touch with Michelle Pfeiffer, I don't care where she lived in the world, I would go there and shoot one of my next videos and put her in.
I mean, listen, a better offer has never been given on this show, and I'm not joking you. We will release this clip and try to make it happen for you 100%. And I do want to talk about your new single, because I want you to know, Coolio, not just saying it, it's fantastic. One last question before we get to the single. I promise we're talking out for the bag at some point. Is it true, Coolio? Hear me out. You were on Chopped back season 19 on Celebrity Chopped, and an article was written that you cheated on Chopped by grabbing Carney Wilson? Yes, Carney Wilson's lemon. Did this happen? Talk to me about this, because I want you to know I'm fully on your side. I support you. And Carney had it coming. So tell us, do you remember what happened?
Well, I don't remember the linen part and all that, but after they, kept getting the countdown, if I, one, put everybody dropped their tools and blah blah blah, and everybody puts their hands up and everything. I didn't do that. I had some salt or something, some pepper. I don't remember what it was in my hand. I had some salt in my hand, and I just kind of tossed it onto to the plate because I didn't think they were gonna disqualify me for that.
Yeah.
I did do it on purpose. Don't get me wrong. I did do it on purpose, but it was an experiment to see what they would do because I never seen anybody get disqualified for doing something after they said stop. So I really didn't think they were gonna do it. It was some damn salt. My dish was already done. I just did it.
Yeah.
I did it to be funny, and it bit me. It bit me in the ass.
I'm with you.
You know,
I want you to know something. I support you fully, and I think it was worth it. I would have done something similar just to like fuck with them a little bit.
Yeah.
Toss some salt on salt bait like the last 5 seconds. Hilarious. And you know what? I'm sorry that I don't know, Scott Conant. I don't know who the judges were, but you had Gordon Shelley. I'm sorry they didn't have a sense of humor. They need to learn how to chill on Chopped. That's a new show we should put out there. You have as much time as you want.
I never, I'm not one to be talking about, how people perceive other people unless, unless it's necessary. But it seems to me, I don't know if anybody else sees this, but I watch Chopped quite a bit. And, the black people always lose. I mean, they always lose. I mean, and I'll be like, oh yeah, he gonna win, yeah. I'm gonna, he should have been her. Yeah, he got it. And then, okay, for instance, last night I was watching Chopped, and it was this black guy on there, and I think he made a mistake when he did this, but he made some good stuff. They made some chicken wings, and they had to make these. I guess I don't remember what the challenge was on that particular round, but he made some chicken wings and it kept him in the round. And which I'm sitting there looking like, if he loses this round, so the guy we got to take his black man card away from him for sure. But he made it through that round. He lost the next round though, and if you went by how people normally lose on Chopped, I didn't feel like he should have lost. But
the usual ways is if they forget an ingredient, that is usually that's the end. If they forget one thing, plating, portion size, usually if they undercook something.
It was something to do with flavor or something like that. It was the flavors.
Flavor counts.
And but the other guy, his food was undercooked, like real bad.
No.
Matter of fact, it was real bad. And I said, okay, he got this round. He's going to the dessert round, and he didn't. He lost.
You know what? I'm going to put it out there to our listeners because Coolio, we have very dedicated listeners. If someone could do a loose Excel spreadsheet on how many black people have won Chopped versus how many have competed, it's an interesting thing to bring up, and I'm curious to know. Coolio suggests black people lose on Chopped. Coolio, back me up. You just said it.
The one, I don't know who that one guy is. It's the one older gentleman. Always wears a suit. He's very
I'm very uppity. Him, so I'm nervous for you to say.
He's very uppity. He's very uppity.
I happen to like him, but I know you're. Yeah.
He has perfect posture. He sits up straight all the time. He's like, well, damn, what's his name, bros? I'm sitting there with my.
I don't even want to say his name.
I'm sitting there with my manager. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, say his name, and I'll tell you.
Well, Coolio, I'm not going to say it, but can I say something? Can I say something else? Out for the bag. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Wait, Coolio,
you with your politically correct ass over here. It's all good though. I totally understand. I can't. You know what? That's neither here nor there. Because it's not one of those. It's not one. Listen.
I'm still interested.
Yes, it's not one of.
I want people to put it together. I'm serious. I think it's an interesting thing to bring up.
Yeah, it's not one of those kind of mornings though. So let's leave that alone.
Well, here's what I'll say. Out for the Bag is one of it's such an addictive single. Our producer played it coming into both hours of the show, and it set the tone for the show to be so fun. And it's like one of those singles that gets in your head, and then you're like, well, I'm going to be singing this the whole day after that, which is the worldwide premiere is out February 26th.
That's
But
right.
can you tell everybody, first of all, about the video? Because I know, if I'm wrong, you have some family members in the video. I want to hear all about the song, the video. Tell us about it.
Okay, so it's Out for the Bag is basically exactly what it is. And I didn't even know what the bag was until about a year ago. People were saying the bag. I was like, what the hell are they talking about the bag? Huh? And my son was like, Pop. My son was like, Pop, man, come on, man. Catch up, bro. Bro, they're talking about money. People don't say, you can't say money, you can't say cash no more. That's old. That dates you. That make you sound old. If you say, yeah, I gotta get my cash. Then you gotta say, I gotta get the bag, you know. I said, oh, the bag full of money. Okay, I get it. You know, I was like, wow, that's genius now. So anyway, yeah, the first person, the first 16 is from my oldest son. His name, we call him AI. He's my namesake. He's actually Artiste Beyond Ivy Jr. the third, and that would make his initials AI. Actually, Ali, A-L-I. I thought he should have called himself Ali, but anyway. So AI, and then I do the second verse, and the third verse is my not really my nephew, but kind of like he's my nephew because he's been around me for so long, and I know his dad. Me and his dad call each other brother. You know what I'm saying? So he's my nephew by
his family.
Yeah, his family. So and his name is Clay. We call him Jay. Well, his name is Clay. He calls himself Clay. I like to call him Jay Clay. So he's on the third
I like
verse.
the connections. You know what it reminds me of? His mama call him Clay. I'm calling Clay from Coming to America. Go on.
Right. So yeah, and it's basically a song about going after that money. And going after that money.
By the way, I like that the connotations when you say out for the bag is, to me, like, you know when you go to Home Goods or TJ Maxx and you buy those 99-cent bags. I love a shopping bag. I love all bags. Coolio.
Right.
I'm like a bag girl. So, multi-meanings to me, but it's really a great single. And I guess my question to you is, versus, let's say, back in the 90s when we had MTV promoting things, how does a hit song get made now? I mean, is it highlighted on Spotify? Obviously played here at Sirius. Like, how do you get a song now into people's minds and homes?
I think this the same way. It's mostly word of mouth. I mean, you know,
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth is still a very good way to get people to find your music. But then at the same time, you gotta spend money on promotion. You gotta promote yourself. You gotta promote your record. You gotta be out there in people's faces. You gotta, do some ads on YouTube. You gotta get some, what is that? What is it called when you click on your name and the first thing that pops up is your name versus.
Oh, it's like SEO. Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta do that thing, and then you gotta get views on YouTube and this and that. It's actually, I think it's a much more difficult process than it used to be, whereas, you just went to the radio station and threw on some cash and then played a record.
Yeah.
Which is called payola, and it's supposed to be,
Yes.
it's supposed to be,
It's illegal.
illegal, excuse me. It's supposed to be illegal,
Yeah.
but, yeah, right. A lot of things are supposed to be illegal.
That's hilarious. Well, just so the listener know, I have not received any Venmo,
Of course not.
any Venmos from Coolio
No,
to
no.
talk about the song. This
No.
is coming from the goodness of my heart.
No, for real.
And I love the song.
It's a fun song. It's catchy. You can dance to it. And I'm going to put out a new single this year every 60 days without fail. And some of those 60-day periods, I'm going to put out 2 singles. So I can already tell you what the next single is going to be. The next single is going to be a song called My Life. And it's not going to be a party song. It's going to be one of those serious songs that make you think. And then I'm going to go back and forth with that this year. So I have this theory about music. Okay? I feel, and this is the way I view things. If you have the opportunity to be able to reach not thousands, not hundreds of thousands, but millions of people, then it is your responsibility to not only give people what they want, you are responsible to give people some of what they need. And what I mean by that is you can't just give people a bunch of party songs and to make them dance, or you can't give them a bunch of sexy songs to make them get in a mood of, get in a sexy mood. You gotta give people stuff to make them think, or you gotta give people things to give them information. It's just your responsibility as an artist, as a human being, and as a true person.
Somebody have a platform.
Yeah,
you have a platform, you have to use it properly.
I
could keep you here literally till 10 a.m.
Yeah, 'cause I gotta go.
If we didn't have another guest,
yeah, and
I would not go to break.
Somebody been tapping me on the
Talk to
shoulder.
all that.
Somebody been tapping me on the shoulder for the last 5 minutes, so I understand.
No, but yeah, because you love me too, and I knew this would happen. And Coolio, can I just say, like, such a treat to get to talk to you this morning. I really have just been a fan for such a long time. I light up when I see you on things. You always make me laugh. You're an incredible musician.
Are you married?
And
Are you married? Are you married?
Single.
When I see you, I'm gonna smack you on the head as soon as I see you.
You know what? I'm gonna pretend it's the 90s, and that's okay to say. I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Listen to Outfood. It's out February 26th. Follow him on Twitter and on Instagram at Coolio. Coolio, you were amazing. Thank you for being on the show. I really appreciate it.
Thanks.
And guys, we have to go to break because we have other guests.
Thank you so much, young lady.